Well, hello everybody. This week's been a very busy week for me for a number of reasons. So we're working on Ice Cold and just now really doing the final mix. So that means we're listening to it.
Listen.
Just balancing the sound so that it all sounds nice. And working on just getting the packaging ready. And I'm going to show you some packaging. We had some failed concepts. I didn't like the picture just of the lead character, the young lady called Sophie, who was just shooting a gun because it didn't really say anything. So we tried to build something with her shooting at aliens underground. And so our first one I felt looked like a DVD bargain basement. I didn't like that. So then we went to more anime to try and do that. And, you know, it's quite nice, but I think the blue, when it's all blue, it looks as though it's been left out in the rain. It's like when something's printed and it's been left for so long and it fades and the only colour that's left is blue. And then I came up with this one, which I really like because it was, you know, fighting one of the aliens and it looks nice. But then I'm looking at the layout, I'm thinking that looks very familiar. I racked my brain, I was thinking for about a week. And then, see if we could see this. If you can see that behind. This was a game called Space Harrier in the 1980s. And I used to love Space Harrier. But this piece, I think this piece of artwork in particular, of the shooting at a monster, looks something vaguely familiar about all of this. So we're working on the game and we're getting the packaging ready, and at the same time I have to get ready for the next production run. So we've been trying to prepare generation 2 of the unit, and which is basically the same but with a different speaker. And I wanted to put a different speaker before, like something that can carry a bit more bass, and it's actually very difficult. And although we were able to get a speaker that used the same amount of power, what happens is when there's a loud noise you get a power draw, like it pulls down on the power, and that can often mean that you get a spike in the power going to the rest of the system. And it can cause something called a brownout, where the system resets itself. So we've been struggling, but I think I've fixed it. So we now have a speaker that sounds. You might be able to hear that.
What is that?
So we've got
Some kind of monster.
We've got the sound of a hissing monster, but we've still got the deep rumble of a train. And that was hard to do with the speakers in the Kickstarter units. It just wasn't, you know, it's a Mylar speaker in there. It's adequate, but it's, you know, can we upgrade? Can we make it a little bit better? And it's always the issue is, well, yes, you can make it better if you're spending lots of money. How do you keep it at the right price point? So I've been working on that, and I think we might have cracked it. So that was a kind of a bit of a success this week. And then, but the big success was the industry called me up. We actually had a really serious company got in touch with me and wanted to meet with me, and it's a company that licenses games and licenses products and manufactures and sells worldwide. Really serious. And one of the thing that was kind of caught my attention was they said, look, we deal with companies around the world. A company that might be interested manufacturing overseas would be a company like Atari. We know them quite well. We've worked with them. And I was like, Atari? You mean like Atari Audio Adventures would be part of the Atari history? It was just thrown out at a meeting, but I was like, wow, okay, I have these meetings now. We're never changing it, Truman. It's always going to be Truman Toys. Yeah, Truman's Audio Adventures. He knows what it is. But it was just like this week was like, wow, everything's leveling up, and I'm trying to make games and get more games out. But the other thing that was interesting is that company produces a lot of audio dramas and spoken word materials and audio books for children and things. So that's how they discovered me. And then they said, oh, but by the way, we also do electronics and games licensing around the world. So that has the potential to help develop more games faster, which is what I need right now. So, if you're following this, we had expected to have, sorry, Truman, we had expected to have third-party titles, and that didn't come out. So I know I'm going to be a games publisher. I'm already looking at retooling how things are done, so I can devote far more time to that, so we can have a lot of game titles coming out. If nobody else does this, I'm still going to be doing it, and me by myself, running everything else, I could probably do 4 games a year. I could probably do a game a month if I had people helping me. But me just doing the way I'm doing, I would probably do 4 games a year. So if I spend the next 5 years, we'll have at least 20 more games. But I'm prepared to do that. I am prepared to put in the next 5 years and keep plugging away and keep pushing. So anyway, this has been an interesting week. So it's been meeting the industry, or the industry coming to me and saying, we would like to speak with you. And we want to see if we can do something with you. And then getting a game ready and getting hardware ready. So it's been like crazy busy, but it's all so exciting.